Hey guys, so a little while ago I did a video on how to turn an old toolbox into a kitchen kit chuck box, and I used this old toolbox that I had, but some people had a hard time finding another box exactly like it, and it is an odd shape. But today I think I actually have the perfect solution. I think this box is actually even better than this one for a number of reasons that we'll go over, but the nice thing is that anybody can get it on Amazon right now. So let's give it a shot. All right, so first let's just take a look at the general size. And you can see this size is smaller than my original one. And it's got a handle right here, which is nice. The other one has handles on the sides. So there are other differences. This one has a bigger drawer at the bottom, which is actually nice. So let's take a look at the old one first. So the old one didn't have any type of liner, so I had to put some contact paper. So I did have to do some modifications because I didn't want silverware and things like that clanging on the metal. This one's got three smaller drawers here, and then the three wider drawers over here. Okay, but again, there's no lining, so I had to put the contact paper. But this size is a kind of a unique size. It's made to go on top of a rolling drawer type toolbox. So this size is actually pretty hard to find. But this guy over here by Vivor, and it's actually very easy to find. You could get it on Amazon right now, and you can see it's actually significantly smaller, which is a good thing. And this one's a little bit bulky. This one's much more portable. Let's take a look inside here. And a couple of really nice things about this, why it's better. First of all, they all the drawers and everything comes with a soft liner. Okay, so this liner is going to make things a little bit more quiet because it is a metal toolbox, right? Even if you have contact paper over here, it still clangs. This one will clang a lot less because of this soft liner. Another nice thing is that when you close this drawer and close that top, it's locked in, so the drawers won't go flying out. Open this drawer right here. It has the locking mechanism, and it unlocks it. So that's really nice. It's got three drawers where you put all your utensils and stuff in. This one didn't have a locking mechanism. There's a bar that you could put right there to keep the drawers from sliding out, but this is going to be a much better solution. Another nice thing is that this area right here is deeper than that one, so I could put um, some pots here that I would not have been able to fit in the other one, and I could put the cutting board here that I was unable to fit in the other one too. So let's set this one up and see how it looks. All right, first thing we're going to need is we're going to need a cutting board. And if you're lucky enough to find a flat cutting board that's not too thick, that fits perfectly inside, then you don't have to do any cutting at all. Just find a cutting board that fits. But even if you didn't, like this one from IKEA, it's just one of those thick, I don't know what kind of material, some kind of plastic type material. That you need the thick one because we're going to need to hold up the the stove on it too. But again, I had another cutting board from the original one that I did cut down. So what we can do is we could cut this one down also, or we could cut this one down to make it fit. So either way, if you're lucky enough to find one that fits, great. If not, you could cut one up. So let's cut one up. All right, that should be a good size. All right, so now I got two boards about the same size. They're not too thick. It's perfect size. It's going to fit in there perfect. All right, that's step one. But I'm going to cut up this cutting board also just to have an extra board that I could keep in one of these drawers that I could use like this. Okay, so I want to make it narrow enough so that it fits within the drawers that I can put it right there. See that? That's going to work out great too. So let's cut this more narrow so it could fit within this drawer right here. All right. All right, the fit is good there. I'll be able to put it, it'll rest right here on this drawer. So it'll be able to sit like that in addition. Okay, so now let's get the burner up. And for the burner, you do need a smaller size burner. For that, I got the same burner I used for the previous kitchen kit. And I'll leave a link in the description for this, as well as a link for this toolbox, of course. So this, even with the 2 cutting boards height, this will actually still, oops, you got to close the drawers because there's a locking mechanism there. Got to make sure the drawers are closed or you can't close the top. Okay, so you close the top. So even with the height of the 2 cutting boards, this will just barely fit. You see that? You know, it's touching right here, but it'll clamp it down no problem. So that's going to be very handy. All right, so these burners, I can't because of the small size. You know, when you put in the can, the fuel can, it will sit out like that. You know, you can't just leave it in there and use it because you know, it won't. It'll get hit in the back, of course. So when you store the fuel can, you do need to store it outside of the containers. You could put it right there. Maybe we could fit it right there. Okay. And when you want to use the burner, what you need to do is we're going to use one of these guys right here. Put in the fuel tank. And run it like that. So the nice thing about the lid, it actually works well as a windbreaker. So your flames won't get blown out. We'll have another cutting board there. And another cutting board right here. Okay. So sometimes, you know, you don't always you're not always cutting things. You got pots and pans and things like that. You could use that, and then you could also use the cutting board down there as an additional cutting board. Whatever you need, it's just flexible. Okay, so let's pack everything back. Now right here, what we're going to use that area for is our pots and pans. So for that, I got this backpacking type pot and pan. And you know, there's room for a bigger one. You know, you could see there's definitely room for something even bigger than this. But you know, this will work. And they're nestled pots. So there's 3 pots. And a oops, and a cup too. So these backpacking ones, they're pretty compact and they work really well for this type of situation. All right, so we got the top stage set up. So let's set up the drawers. All right, I got some assorted knives and and pot holders and can openers and things like that. Sit across like that. Some spatulas, things like that. You can see there's plenty of room for more. That again, that liner is great for not clanging too much. So let's get some silverware and utensils down there. All right, I got some instant coffee and things like that. I've been using instant coffee a lot for my camping trips. But silverware, utensils, and let's see. All right, so if your forks and stuff is too big, it won't fit vertical, and you'll have to put it horizontal like that. But that's okay. Let's see, chopsticks, same thing. It may not fit vertically, but even then, that's going to be okay. And you can see there's plenty of space for more. The bottom, we could put some aluminum foil or something like that. That should fit. Of course, we're going to need spices. So the nice thing is that the spices will also fit. See that? That works out really nice. Napkins, whatever you want to put in there. And you can see there's room for some small bowls and things like that too, small plates. Still plenty of room for other utensils or spatulas and knives and things like that. And that's it. You're done. That's a really easy, no build kitchen kit, chuck box, whatever you want to call it, that you can get on Amazon. You could buy this on Amazon. You could buy this on Amazon. Just this you could buy on Amazon. Pretty easy. And this is going to make a great kitchen kit. And if you pair this with my no build sink, you're going to have a great no build kitchen.